My name's Heather. You might know me, you might not. Hopefully, you're seeing this if you don't know me. I'm a parent of two autistic children. One of them is level 2, one of them is level 3. Um, about a week ago, I went into carer's crisis. My younger son physically, emotionally abuses me. He is violent, aggressive, it's a whole lot. My other child is autistic, but his needs are relatively easy to manage. The reason I'm doing this is to give some insight as to what has happened, particularly around trying to secure respite. So when I hit my bottom, I was supported by my dad to hire a private carer. He just threw down his credit card and it got done. Now I do have NDIS planning. I tried to find someone privately moving forward and ended up going through Carers Gateway. For those who don't know, Carers Gateway are a large, government organisation that are the gateway for carer supports, including offering respite, counselling, education, blah, 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 blah. Now, anyone who's used Carers Gateway knows that, like any other large bureaucratic organisation, think Centrelink, it's a bit of a nightmare to manage, but I'm pretty good at managing bureaucracy. I get it, and I'm cool to wait on hold and complete questionnaires and do all that sort of stuff. They then sent me through to a local provider, a outsourced care service who are basically who you link in with directly to organise what you need. In this case, this was Merry Health. I've dealt with Merry Health before, and it's one of the arms of a large bureaucratic organisation. So they have a really complicated funding model, and there's this person and that person, they have to get approval, and then that approval has to go through approval, and then they allocate X amount of hours or X amount of dollars, and then you have to do all of these safety checklists, and which is cool. Okay, this was an emergency, okay, and I wasn't after anything other than a couple of nights, a few hours of respite so I can try and get myself back up. A couple of days ago, I was able to have confirmed that I had been approved for 6 hours of respite. Completely fine. I'm happy with that. 6 hours, enough for me to try and organise someone privately on a private service thing. Mabel is what I used. And because they'd said, yep, we're going to do this, it's cool, we'll have it sorted for Friday and for Monday. So I cancelled my job, my urgent job on Mabel, because I was told, your funding has been confirmed, we just have to lock in a carer with whatever they used. And so the last word, yesterday I sent through a message and said, hey, just wanted to confirm the details. Is someone coming? Either time's okay. And I didn't get any response. Long story short, my care has been approved, but I don't know if someone's coming because the person who I was dealing with at Merry Health has now gone on leave. And so whilst this was considered an emergency, considered a family violence situation, which is, you have your opinions on that, they quickly were like, yeah, we're going to help you, we've got this and we support you and blah, blah, blah. But then they go and leave and no one knows what's happening. I called Merry Health and no one's on that team. We can't look into your details because it's not my department. And when they tried to put me through to that department, nobody was answering. The receptionist of that department didn't answer. So I've got no respite booked. I don't know what's happening. Person who's managing my case, who has approved all this stuff, has gone on leave and nobody knows what's happening. It is astonishing that someone who speaks English as a first language is pretty okay with dealing with bureaucracy. I mean, I self-manage N2 by NDIS funds. On Centrelink, I study in university and all of these sorts of, I'm fine with it. Navigating getting respite in an emergency, navigating getting help in an emergency for people who are vulnerable, people who are at lower capacity, people who can't think, people who can't plan. I have only just now left the house for the first time in 5 days. And it is acknowledged by NDIS, who actually had a planning meeting, just happened to be booked in for 2 days ago, and they're like, oh my God, this is really important. We have to help you. Oh my God. I haven't heard back from them either. What trust? What is happening when there's people who are just in absolute crisis, can't actually use the services that are funded to the tits, can't actually use it, can't get any sort of answer because the layers of bureaucracy are so complicated that nobody knows what anybody else is doing. They have such strict definitions about what is urgent and what is, what was the other adjective they use? They use something that says urgent and something else below or and if you're urgent but not the other thing, you go through Carers Gateway, and nobody in Carers Gateway or Carers Victoria, I mean, even the names are hard to get straight. Nobody knows what the rules are. They'll constantly say, no, that's this person's job. No, that's actually this person's job. And then you go through a whole another intake and relive your story again and again and say the same things again and again, just to be told it's not my department.